Hey guys, Scotty here, the Hustle and Grind Pod. We got an episode here. We're going to talk about the different types of businesses that are out there. Some of you might be thinking about your entrepreneurial journey and what that might look like. So we're going to just talk shop a little bit, talk about some of our experience, what we know about, everything from multi-level marketing to franchise opportunities to bricks and mortar and a little bit more in between. Ryan and I are just going to share some of those stories and experiences, and with any luck, you learn something, or at least it sparks an idea for you to take that shot. So thanks for tuning in. We're getting that right out of here. Cheers.
All right, awesome. Okay, Scotty, we're on here, and this episode we're going to review a number of types of businesses, and we're going to go through and kind of grade them. Right? Grade them A, B, C, D. What we think some of the businesses that we've been involved in. There's a lot I don't know you've been involved in. There's a lot you don't know.
Man, when we started talking about this, I started going back through the memory bank, and I'm like,
yeah,
all of the shit I tried to sell.
Okay, so that's awesome,
and the types of businesses that they were.
Yeah.
It went a little bit down memory lane, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm sure you've got some stories, and I think that's kind of what we want to get into is reference some of the types of businesses. So for those of you who are listening, you might be wondering, okay, what kind of business should I get into, right?
Right.
And for what it's worth, if there's any value in the shit that we've been through, then maybe it'll help you in your next step of your journey.
Yeah. So hopefully we can provide some value, some insights, some ways that we've tried things and failed, and give some what do you say, some peeks around the corner.
Maybe we can see around the corner. Yeah, but we're also in a new spot here too.
Yeah, we are in our new spot. So you're gonna notice the background's a little bit different. But just bigger spot, and it's gonna
same building down the hall.
Yeah, same building down the hall. So just we're growing, man, like any other business or any other venture. So, okay, we're going to go through maybe about 10 different types of businesses. And we're kind of going to discuss some of the characteristics of these businesses based on, profitability, scalability, startup difficulty, right? How difficult is it to get this going? Are there moral and ethical things involved? Is there a burnout factor and some other things, right? So let's get in. So right off the top, and I think that
but before
yeah.
And I don't know I have an idea where you might want to start here, but maybe let me ask you, like, what is the most ridiculous business that you can remember getting involved in, whether it was your first one? And I've had a couple doozies, so we'll get into some of those, but in this list that we've created here, which one stands out as being like, holy shit, I can't believe I did that?
It was a close call with an MLM that I almost got into, and I didn't, and we'll talk about that. I did get into a brick and mortar retail business when I first started this kind of like entrepreneurial journey, and it seemed very exciting at first. I won't take us down the whole rabbit hole, but
maybe a little bit.
Why not? Right? I didn't. It was a great brand, great product. But what I didn't do is I didn't check into the background, the P&Ls, profit and loss. I didn't check the numbers as closely as I should have. I became friendly and very loyal, and a lot of trust in the owner. And the story is we were trying to jump into this brick and mortar and then create a franchise and build this franchise out with the product. But there were a lot of blind spots that I should have looked into it if I did my due diligence or had someone professional look into it. Not to say that people need to pay for a lawyer because that's expensive, but maybe I should have reached out to some friends and gotten some advice versus just trusting in what this person was saying.
So how long were you? How long did that particular chapter last?
Yeah,
and when you decided, holy shit, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And then what kind of red flags, looking back, that you missed that
Yeah.
you probably should have picked up on?
So some of the red flags were that they had too many SKUs, like they had too many different types of products. In this particular business, they had a handful of products that were amazing, and really the business should have just focused around that. And what happened is that there were too many other things going on. I call them kind of peripheral distractions that were happening, and they weren't related to the core products of the business. And I think what happened is that spread us too thin, and we were just kind of looking in too many different directions. Where if I like to say this, if we stayed in our lane with like the 5 core products, I think we could have made that work and drove that forward. Where we realized, and I say we because my wife actually got involved in this business early on too. I mean, this was like 15 or however many years ago when we first got into the kind of the entrepreneurial game, and she was doing the operations. And I remember like it was like month 2 or month 3, and she was doing the numbers, and because there was retail, there's cash involved. She was doing a lot of the cash outs at the end of the day and that sort of thing, and things weren't just adding up. And I remember, honestly, I can see her face right now. There was one night, and she was looking at me going like, "This business is losing money. Like we've lost money consistently up into the 3
months in.
Yeah, 3 months in." And it was shocking because, and again, looking back, if we would have had some due diligence and some things that we did properly, had some professionals look into this, they probably would have noticed those red flags, and we may not have
made the jump.
Made the jump. You learn. I mean, you get involved with people and personalities, and this particular business owner had a huge personality, great guy, super trusting, super passionate about his product, but passion and like we talk about that a lot doesn't always convert to a profitable business, right? Something you can scale. Yeah.
Cool. And you know, as you're kind of sharing that, you're reflecting back, 15 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Rarely does somebody's first business be the business, right? Like you almost have to like fail and do something stupid to really learn from it before you kind of get into the next one that actually ends up working.
Yeah, it's a good point, man, because we talk a lot about that, right? About learning from your mistakes and failure. And I know you and I have failed more than a hand, enough to be like, oh yeah, I learned from that. The good thing is that, we didn't really have to invest a lot into this business. It was really just kind of like putting in sweat equity. So the risk was low. It's not like we were throwing in $100,000 to this business or whatever. It's like you come in, you put in the hours, you work your ass off. And that was kind of part of the formula. So thank God it wasn't like a thing where we had mortgaged our house or whatever to start this business. We just kind of put in that the only thing really that we lost was a lot of our time, right? Fortunate. Yeah. And at that time, we didn't have all of our kids, so we had more time and we could really focus on that. And definitely it was a learning experience because now I just became a little bit more, we need to be a little bit more due diligent and not be like so distracted by the big shiny toy and my ADHD kind of kicking in, being like, hey, let's do, great idea. Let's go. And my biggest blind spot that I've learned through this experience and other experiences is that I'll work my ass off. Like I'll work hard. I'll outwork anybody, but that's not often an advantage because sometimes you're just working yourself into the ground and you're working hard. You're not working smart.
Yeah, and there's something else in there where, and I'm guilty as charged.
Yeah,
guilty as charged is you see something, you're excited about it. And you use the word blind spots. Mm-hmm. And that's such a beautiful descriptor because you are so focused on all of the things. You're looking for the evidence to support your excitement.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's a young entrepreneurial mistake that we can easily fall victim to. Like I said, I am guilty as charged more times than I'd like to, admit. But it's you're looking for all of the good things, the positives, the opportunities, this and that, without that devil's advocate mindset to say, okay, well, like shit, actually, you know what? We should look at the numbers a little bit more. What's the business doing? Are there any stories within the numbers that I'm ignorant about because I'm so excited about all of this upside without taking the time to actually do a little bit deeper dive, if you will. And again, in hindsight's 2020, but
no, it's a good point for sure. Definitely. It's, and business is exciting, and it's exciting to get in business with something you love, or the idea that you can work for yourself and all these things that you're talking about. I love how you say that, actually. But yeah, having that devil's advocate, having that person that can give you another set of eyes, right? Or another angle or view on it. Because we do get blinded with the excitement, right, of the shiny new toy or having your own business and that sort of thing. So now, a question for you, like how long of, speed and pace is a thing too that we talk about. So it's like you get excited, or people may get excited about an idea or a business, and as soon as you get that idea, it's like you want to do it tomorrow, right? And there's something to that where it's like you do need speed and you need pace to the market, to beat your competition, or just get in there and identify the TAM, the total addressable market, get those customers that are looking for your product ASAP. What's the timeline? Like should you consider these things and get these devil's advocates for months? And that might be, you might have all these people saying all the safe things, whereas like sometimes you just do have to take the risk.
Yeah. Excuse me. And I think that depends on the type of business, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's like you've got up here, niche e-commerce, or like, content creator, influencer.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple of business ideas or types of businesses that we've got listed here where the barrier to entry isn't as risky. There isn't a massive financial, burden or risk. Whereas on the bricks and mortar side, like if you just blindly go take action and all of a sudden you're into it, you can fall in the trap that you fell into.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it depends on the type of business.
So do you want to go through these?
Sure. Yeah. So we've got the top list here. We've got MLM. Who out there has been
multi-level marketing?
Yeah. And
can you explain that? What, for those that might not know multi-level marketing, what are we talking about with multi-level marketing?
So, and I'll share my experience because I've been down the path.
Yep.
Essentially, multi-level marketing is there's a product, usually a product of sorts, or a SKU of products, let's say.
Usually product-based, not service.
Not usually product-based.
Yeah.
And let's say I've got these beautiful candles.
There you go. There's perfect.
Look at blood orange and tearwood. It's smells great.
Yeah.
And I believe in these candles. And I'm like, Ryan, we've got these candles, and I'd like you to learn about how you can make a business and you can generate wealth. And all you need to do is go sell these candles to your friends and family. And the more friends and family that you bring in to sell these candles, the more profit you earn. And they call it like a downline. A downline.
Yeah.
So that like if I'm early to the game and I pull in a bunch of absolute horses who are hungry and grinding and recruiting, I can rake. And that's the dream that they sell.
Yeah.
That's the story that they sell.
Yeah.
And it's like you just got to get in. And you gotta bring in your network and coach and teach and train and you ask them to tap into their network, and it's like the more people you have underneath you, the more money you can make. And there are legit products, like people legit burn candles.
Yeah.
But where I personally don't like the way it ends up is you kind of have to subscribe to their drop ship program. I'll burn some candles here and there, but I'm not going to burn 6 a week.
But
6 more candles are showing up on Friday.
Yeah. Right. So the issue, I guess, would be, or the challenge that you've got to constantly, in some of these models, you have to constantly buy product, right? So whether you're selling it or not, you are committed to buy. I'm committed to buying 10 of these candles a week, whether I sell them or not. And then the other thing is that, you know, your focus really becomes on recruiting people versus selling the product. So the more people I have selling this product in my downline, the less I have to sell the product, and the more revenue I get.
So let me share one of my MLM experiences. So I was selling water, bottled water.
Nice.
There's bottled water everywhere, man.
Yeah.
But again, we got sucked in because it was like brand new in this market, in the Canadian market.
Yeah.
So the downline and potential is limitless. Right.
Yeah.
And so we would like reserve a room and we would invite our network, and then we'd bring them into a pitch and we'd sit them down and, you know, we'd drink some water. But then we even had like, we would test the water and we'd have like different brands of water.
Yeah.
And we'd do these little things and we'd show the chemical reaction of like, this water's bad. And man, I tell you, like, you know, we thought we were going to build an empire. We really did. We really, really did. And, like I couldn't drink enough water. Like the water just kept showing up. It kept showing up. I'm like, I'm a thirsty guy, but it's like, shit,
at
like
some point.
How much now again, fast forward. I don't think I had any kids at the time, you know, so just Amanda and I, and you know, the two of us weren't drinking enough water. Maybe if we were a family of five, we could have hammered through, we could have hammered through the water.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, so as we've been talking about this, we've gone down memory lane, and I can't even remember the name. I was texting people this morning trying to, do you remember that fucking water we tried to sell? And we can't remember the name. But my one buddy's like, hey, go to the CNIB golf tournament pictures.
Yeah.
And I remember we had so much water that was the water we put in the golf carts for the day, because we just had to get rid of the shit.
Yeah.
And it went down memory lane, and looking back, we hosted this golf tournament, and all the money we raised, we gave to the CNIB. And man, I just remember the hustle of trying to fill foursomes. We were selling foursomes. I was just looking at the old Facebook page, and $175 a golfer, $600 for a foursome, and you know, that wasn't like weren't generating any revenue for us, but the hustle of organizing a golf tournament, I can just remember
oh my God,
the grind that was, and an inaugural one, brand new, right? It didn't have a network of folks coming back for the 23rd anniversary, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the water thing failed miserably.
Yeah.
And after that, I kind of woke up to the MLM wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe there are some people being successful with it. I just,
there is for sure.
Yeah.
There is for sure.
If you're in early, like you said, but, yeah. So, what are we rating this A, B, C, D, F type of business? I mean,
well, I guess,
you know,
as a whole, it's probably a D for me.
I'm doing like a D, and
more so just because it doesn't feel right for me.
Yeah.
But it's not an F, because you can make some money.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here. It's not like everything, all of the MLMs out there, like there is a lot of products that are being sold that are like legit, actually decent products. So it's not like you're trying to sell snake oil.
No.
Right? Like you've got good products that are, you know, maybe good for you or useful for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to give it a D.
Yeah, for me too. So we'll leave it at that. But here we'll try and rapid fire and spend maybe 5 minutes on each one here. It's kind of so niche e-commerce brand. I don't know how much, you know, obviously with my marketing company, we build e-commerce websites. I'm kind of going through some kind of e-commerce brands of my own. Niche meaning like, well, we talk about my compression socks. Right?
Dude, you've got
fucking right here.
Niche e-commerce. coffee for left-handed scuba divers.
Well,
like who?
It's just.
How
like,
did you come up with
yeah, I think actually.
Yeah, that is
did.
that. Okay, I was gonna say that is pretty niche.
Yeah, no,
that is pretty niche.
It's making it to the extreme and being like niche. Like how niche can you go where it's absolutely ridiculous that you're not going to sell it to anyone? And we talk about the TAM, the total addressable market. It's like, if you have an e-commerce brand and it's so niche, like what coffee for left-handed scuba divers, you're not going to sell shit because that doesn't even make sense, right? So it's like, I guess the pros of like an e-commerce brand is that, it's low barrier. There are some operations, but the cons are that, there's such thin margins, right? With e-com. Another thing with e-com is that you can do drop ship. We talk about that, like 3PL partners.
Which has become a lot easier.
It has.
15 years ago, drop shipping was a logistical grind.
Right.
Now, Alibaba.
Yeah.
There's sites and tools out there that make that so much easier. So it reduces that barrier.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's any easier. Because you need attention and eyeballs as well, right?
Yeah. And you do, typically you're using Shopify or a platform like that, which are pretty user friendly, but you still do need what I've found anyways, you need a little bit of expertise of maybe like someone that knows how to build a Shopify website, build a brand, right? You got to build a brand. You do still have to do these things. So, but to your point with Alibaba, it has opened up a ton of opportunity for people to really just kind of like do these startups pretty quickly to go to that. When that website appeared out of the ecosystem, it was like, wow, that was a game changer, right? Because you can go directly to the factory now.
Yeah. Now, have you seen or heard much about this social shopping?
Yeah. So there's a guy in Vancouver I'm working with right now, and he's building out a bit of a shopping or social shopping platform that we're exploring.
Interesting.
And it, really, it's related to more the TV, that online shopping, like the late night
school.
You stay up till midnight and you're watching these people
on
the TV
called?
show. I forget.
What do they call that?
I don't remember the name. Yeah,
Like
I don't remember.
Infomercials.
Yeah, like infomercial stuff. Yeah, like the ShamWow guy, like things like that, right?
Do you ever see that one? That one with the ladder, and the gal's like, it's locked in, and then she's.
I think that's
locked in.
A viral video,
and then it collapses. Just absolutely eats it.
So the social shopping, it brings in influencers who have a large network and a large database, and they're literally,
live.
It's like live shopping,
TikTok or Instagram, right?
TikTok, Instagram, that sort of thing. And you're watching this person shop or try on clothes or try on makeup or whatever. And there's like, hey, if you want this product, shop now, and then they'll get connected to the brand and that sort of thing. It is the next phase of online shopping for sure.
I don't know if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah.
Gary V's been talking about it for a while.
He has. You're right.
And I mean, the guy, you look at his track record, he's been posting and on socials for years and years and years. And he smart cat and can recognize where shit's going and identify, for you, Ryan, trends.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Love my trends.
He can help identify trends. And he's big on it. And I think he said something like, for TikTok, there's an element of TikTok where you only need a very low number of followers to qualify to be able to provide that social shopping. And he's like, literally, there's people that are just selling shit in their garage.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so you don't need to be, from what I gather anyway, and I haven't done a ton of research, I'm taking Gary V's word for it.
Yeah.
But you don't need 1 million followers.
No, you don't.
To have this opportunity for social shopping. It's like garage sale on steroids, maybe.
Yeah.
And you can sell anything.
Well, because it's still, you talk about this, being early to the game. It's still there's a lot of white space there with this, because just a lot of people just haven't really jumped in. The early adopters have, but it's not a very saturated area yet. So it will become that. and then it'll be harder and harder to do. But if you can figure it out and you can do it now, if you have a small following, even local following, you connect with like a local retailer or a local brand. That there's going to be major value there, and you could make some money because you're going to build your network with that brand.
We should do some social shopping on the pod one day. Give it a whirl.
Yeah, why not? Well, when we get our thing going, we can beta test that thing on the pod.
Sell some swag.
Yeah, that'd be good. So a niche e-commerce brand. I mean, what grade would you give that? Or niche or just e-com in general?
And I mean.
A, B, C,
I think it's for me, it's probably a B.
Yeah,
because it's a truly viable option.
Yeah.
People spend their time online.
Mm-hmm.
It's a grind. It's not easy. There's some learning to be had.
Yep.
But I think it's very viable. There's lots of successful e-com companies out there, and
I agree.
If you've got the chops and you want to roll up your sleeves and give it a shot, then I think you can generate some solid revenue.
Yeah, I'd give it a B+ because I think that the barriers to entry are really low. You could have young aspiring entrepreneurs kind of getting into this pretty easily, really, or who knows, like retired people wanting to do something in the retired years, right? So
what else we got?
Okay, now we got local brick and mortar.
We kind of talked about your little story there.
Yeah.
We never give it a grade, though.
I mean, in terms of a grade of local brick and mortar, and you mentioned this earlier too, is that, I mean, this is an entirely different area of business because now you're investing in rent. You're probably locked into a lease, right? So there are upfront expenses, which luckily in my experience with the brick and mortar business I was involved in, I didn't incur those right off the bat. That was already set up. So, I think that there's pros. I mean, if you have a great location in a community or a city and you can and you have a great product or maybe a restaurant or something like that, and it makes sense, then I think that community presence will give you a lot of
look at Hopper.
Yeah, look at Hop.
London Source for Sports, right? Like for anyone who hasn't checked that episode out, you're missing it. So do that.
Yeah.
But man, that's a brick and mortar, and it's a staple. It's been here forever, and they're still innovative and growing.
Yeah.
And making bank, right? Like he said, like they've been around long enough and been doing a good enough job that they're not having to leverage any debt.
Yeah.
They've got the ability to they don't have to borrow money to buy inventory, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I give it a B-.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't turn that into an A, because Source has, for sure.
Good point.
But as far as barriers to entry, cost to entry, risks, upfront, that I'll give it a B-.
Yeah, I'd probably go more C on that. I like how you said the grade can probably increase over time. I mean, if you look at Source of Sports, you look at Hop, or you look at some of these other retail businesses, time definitely contributes to the formula, right? The longer they've been in business, the more successful, or else they just wouldn't be around anymore, obviously. But it depends, I think, on the type of person you are too. I mean, do you like dealing with staff? We just talked with Charlie Smith about this, right? You're dealing with personalities. Like, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Like, all these things might play a part in the formula of you deciding to start a brick and mortar or not, right? So I'd probably give it a C, just because myself, I'm very, very low risk, and to me it'd be higher risk to kind of do brick and mortar.
You carry some trauma from your past experience.
Well, and that too. So there you go, right? Like, there's probably some PTSD there, some brick and mortar PTSD that I'm looking at. So
all right, where else we got?
Franchising. So we had Natalie on a while ago, okay? And she's a franchising expert. I thought I'd put this up because it is quite interesting and fascinating, the franchising, and it definitely is something that could be that people could do very well with, right? You know, like, again, franchising, there's proven systems. There's brand recognition already. There's processes that.
Yeah, like, are you jumping in on an existing franchise, or are you starting, or do you have your own business that you're considering expanding into a franchisable business?
I would say in this case, buying into a franchise. Yeah. Let's keep it.
So again, there's an established brand.
Yeah.
They've stumbled and fallen and created enough processes and procedures to provide the business owner the runway to get started, right?
Yep.
There's some capital up front usually to be invested there. So there's that financial burden. But I think if you're tapping into like, again, you know, had you and I thought about buying, you know, a Subway or a McDonald's franchise 15, 20 years ago, probably be doing okay.
Yeah.
Right? Or Tim Hortons. Imagine being able to ride the Tim Hortons wave before it was next to impossible to qualify. Like,
I know.
Like, had you jumped on the Tim Hortons wave, again, you're doing very well for yourself.
Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
You know, a lot of times those owners they own multiple because they kind of have that first right of refusal based on being inside of that network, right? So, I mean, I give the franchise, I'm going to give that I'm going to give it an A minus.
Yeah.
Because just thinking of the ones that we highlighted there, the big brands.
Yeah.
It's not an A because it could be the old boys club a little bit and tough to get into.
Yeah.
But if you got the right, you know, framework, I think you know, franchising is a legit opportunity to generate revenue and you know, provide for your family.
I would give it an A minus too. And the reason why the minus comes in is because there are some things to be aware of when you're getting into a franchise. And I do kind of know this with working with some franchises through my marketing company. And so typically what happens with the franchise is that, you know, you have to pay into, say, the owner of the franchise, or, you know, and you're paying marketing costs, you're paying these other costs, right?
There's like an upfront, almost like a license of sorts.
Yeah.
And then an ongoing monthly obligation, whether you sell a French fry or not.
Yep.
Right.
So I actually just was part of this franchise, that I can't say the name just under NDA, but there is a franchise kind of moving forward that I'm aware of, and I'm dipping my toes into a little bit from a marketing point of view, and they actually started franchising their business, and they did do a franchise into up north, and the problem is that, and they had to pull the guy's franchise after like 3 months, because the issue is that the guy that bought the franchise went way off the menu, started doing his own things off the menu. And the agreement with franchise is that you have to stay on brand.
Sure.
You have to use their ingredients. You have to use
their
products.
That's why these big dogs are so big.
Right.
Is because it doesn't matter where you go.
Yep.
The experience is the same.
Exactly.
And that's the consumer is expecting that.
Yeah.
So if you go off the map, you could get yourselves into trouble.
Totally. And that's where, again, it's like you have to understand the type of person you are. If you're very creative and you want to really explore other things, well, I'm sorry, but within a franchise, it limits your creativity, because you have to stay within the franchise box, right? There's a lot of strict rules.
So it may not be a fit just based on your personality type.
So if you're very creative, you're innovative, that sort of thing, I don't know that a franchise would be a good fit.
Fair.
But the A minus definitely stands, because you know, for maybe that husband and wife, or that partnership or whatever, that are just looking to own a business and get into it. Typically, a lot of things are just there, ready for you to go. So yeah,
okay.
A minus. Okay, a couple more here. Agency consulting. I mean, I can speak to that obviously because I'm building an agency. I've been a consultant myself. I mean, I'll just kind of go through this really quickly. I think that, agency work and consulting work, I would give it a C right off the bat. And again, I'm in it, right? So you'd think that I would give it like an A+++. But having been in it and having started as a consultant, a lot of the issues with consulting is that you're the brand. And what I found when I started as a consultant, and we're talking marketing here, is that it eventually plateaued. There was only so much of me to go around. So you can't scale.
Scale is
infinite.
Unless you can find a way to recruit, train, mentor,
Right.
and grow a team.
Yeah.
And I have similar, like I've done it as well.
Yeah,
I still
right.
kind of,
Yeah.
it's still part of my world in some senses.
Mm-hmm.
But when I left the car biz retail side, then I was on the vendor side, and then I became a consultant and a trainer. And
Yeah.
I was my own boss. I had my own company, but it was as a result of a good buddy of mine who's probably the best in the biz. Shout out to Shane Bolster. Exactly that. He's one dude. He's there's only so many days in a month.
Yep.
And you've got a client base, but you're not clonable. Right. And
Exactly.
so you can't. So at the time I was in transition and looking for that next stage in my life, in my career life. And he's like, dude, like I would love to have you in the mix here because I can't get to all of these stores.
Yeah.
I know you know the program.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to do well at it. So that was for him. He was able to generate some profit for himself. I'd invoice the dealer and he'd take a piece, kind of into the fold of his program. But that's tough. Like you got to find the right people who can do it.
Yeah.
And or you go to your customers and your loyal customers, you start jacking your rate.
Bingo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And how
that's exactly
hard
what
is
I was
that
thinking.
hard is that to navigate?
It's very hard because, and what I found, again, from my own experience as a consultant, is that there's the thing that we call in business called scope creep, right? So you start here within the scope of the work, and then, can you do this? Can you do this? And before you know it, your scope is expanded so much. But to your point, Scott, you haven't
Now your margin's gone.
You haven't increased your rates.
No, the margin's gone.
Exactly. So
Now you're working for free, or it's
Yeah.
costing you money, right?
Yeah. Now,
So you're giving it a C minus?
I'll give it a C, like the consulting work. Now,
Well, okay, I'm gonna take maybe a bit of a hot take there.
okay, good.
And I don't disagree with your description based on your experience.
Yeah.
And again, I think it depends on the individual here and what it is you're after. For you, who's naturally inclined to chase growth, to continue to scale, to continue to expand.
Yeah.
Right. Some of you, like, you can be a consultant and do an agency work, and you can have a full plate and your calendar's good, but you can manage it and still get to your kids' gymnastics and you can still get to your kids' hockey game.
Good point.
And you can make a healthy living. And that could be an A+ for somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, I think context matters. And what is it that you're chasing?
Yeah.
Where are you trying to get to? Because, so I'm going to give it a B myself. Just because, again, you don't have to have that, double-digit growth every year to have success.
Yeah. I see. And this is why I love this, because you give such a great perspective on these things. And I'm not I'm not disagreeing with you, because I think you're right. As well, that I think it does depend on the individual. And in my particular case, it was just that, like, I wanted to scale and grow. So thank God I met my business partner. We created an agency, processes, and with agents, creating an actual agency. I mean, I'm giving that an A+ for sure. But the consultancy work for the years and years of the
leading
grind,
up to the agency,
it became frustrating for me, because I wanted to scale and grow, but I didn't have that team. It was just kind of me, and I don't have enough courage or balls to go to a client and be like, hey, I got to jack your rates up because I'm doing 10 times the amount of work. Right.
Yeah.
So that was my own, that's on me.
And I guess, like you said, scope creep, because that's real.
Yeah.
In my day job now, I mean, it's one of the challenges is, like, you've got a big project and there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you've allocated enough resources to get the job done right.
Yep.
But at the same time, you don't want to be doing the work for free because you didn't clearly define the scope itself.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you've taken on more than what you accounted for. And that's where you can get in a slippery slope. But again, for you, it was a trial and tribulation. You kind of had to figure that out on the way.
Yeah.
And so I think for those who are in that world, it's not necessarily just simply jacking the rate up on your client. I think clearly identifying the specific type of work you're doing and what are we doing and what's included in this range, in this budget.
Yeah.
Right. So building a new website was nothing we never talked about. If we're talking SEO, sure, we can do some of the lift to help your page be more optimized, but we haven't talked about redesigning and building a brand new website here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so being able to literally identify, okay, well, here's what you hired us to do. Yes or no? Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other things that we've been doing on the house here for a minute. I can't keep doing that if and again, not that the conversation's easy to have.
No.
But you got to be able to
sure.
identify the work you're doing and present the value that it deserves.
Yeah. I love that, man. Yeah, that's
okay. I think we got to wrap soon. So what else do we got here?
Yeah, why don't we wrap that, and then why don't we save some of these for the next one?
Okay.
All right. We'll wrap this, and then we've got some more to go through. But that was that was a solid list there. Hopefully, giving some value out there for people that are considering some of these types of businesses.
Yeah,
right?
and for listeners, send us a note. Like if there's something you've missed, or there's a topic that you think would be interesting to dive into, and you want us to kind of take a deep dive, let us know. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got, we'd like to be a YouTube partner one day. We've talked about trying to monetize this thing.
We're getting there. We got a new space. We got to have some fancy meetings here about scaling this thing. So that subscription that is a nice little thank you if you can do that for us.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, Scotty. Well, good one. Another good one. We'll put that in the can, and we'll keep this going for sure.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Okay, man. Cheers.